Little Boxes by Anthony E. Wright. Little boxes aren't always cordial. For example, ethnic group. These little boxes threaten my identity. Who am I? I am different from many others. I cannot answer that question easily when it comes to ethnicity. My mother is Hispanic with an Asian father, and my father is white with English and Irish roots. What does that make me? My identity is more confused because my mother becomes a Latino instead of an Ecuadorian. The cultures of Ecuador and Mexico, Peru and Guatemala, Puerto Rico and Argentina are distinct, even though they're all Hispanic or Latino. And I can't even be classified by such a broad term. My classification problem doesn't stop with my ethnicity. My father is a blue-collared worker, but the technical work he does is much more than physical labor. My family, through our sweat, brains, and savings, lives comfortably. We cannot really be classified as poor or lower class, but we aren't middle class. Also, in my childhood, my parents became disillusioned with the Catholic religion and stopped going to church. They gave me the option of going to church or not, but I was lazy and stayed in bed late Sunday mornings. Right now, I don't even know if I'm agnostic, atheist, or something else. I just don't fit into categories nicely. My biggest conflict of identity comes from another source: education. In the 7th grade, I moved from Public School 61 to an exclusive private school. The only similarity between the two institutions is that they are both in the Bronx. One is a block away from Charlotte Street, one of the poorest areas in the nation. The other is in one of the wealthiest sections of New York City. Making the transition from poor public school to wealthy private school was difficult. I never learned to totally belong with the rich kids, but I am also separate from my neighborhood. My home happens to be situated there, and I might go to the corner bodega for milk and bananas, or walk to the subway station, but that's the extent of my contact with my neighborhood. I feel bad about this, but when more than half the teenagers are high school dropouts, and drugs are becoming a major industry there, there's no place for me. For a while, I desperately wanted to fit into a category in order to be accepted. Everywhere I went, I felt different. When I went to a neighborhood restaurant to ask for arroz con pollo, my bad Spanish and gringo accent made the lady in front go to the back for someone who knew more English. When I was little and I had short, straight black hair, people thought I was Asian. When I went to Ecuador to visit relatives, they could not agree about whether I was Latino or gringo. When the little boxes appeared on applications, I marked Hispanic, even though I had doubts. At first sight, I can pass for white, and my last name is not clearly Hispanic, like Rodriguez. I chose Hispanic because I identified with it, because of my Puerto Rican neighborhood that I grew up in, and my mother, who has a big influence on me. However, many people would not consider me a Latino. And when I put Hispanic, white, or Asian, I feel like I was lying about my true identity. My mixture helps me look at topics and ideas from more than one viewpoint, and I like that. I look at race, economic status, social status, and religion in a way that I feel is unique. I enjoy my own diversity, despite the confusion caused by the generalizations that society makes. I cannot be generalized or classified. Nobody should be classified like that. My background and position have affected me, but I dislike people judging me by that information. I am Anthony E. Wright, and the rest of the information about me should come from what I write, what I say, and how I act. nothing else.